Ruslan.
100,000. 100,000. It's my first 100,000 on anything, man, and it's really credit to you guys because this doesn't make sense, okay? This doesn't make sense on paper. I'm gonna talk about why it doesn't make sense on paper, and then we're gonna be doing a lyric breakdown here shortly. So if you're here live, click out of the chat, give this video a quick thumbs up. That would be fantastic. Thank you guys so much, man. I'm super excited. Today we cracked 100,000. 100,000. So that's incredible, and we're gonna be talking a little bit about that. But first, I have to send a shout out to the people who really were behind the possibility of this happening, and that is our Patreon community that got behind this fairly early on in the process, and basically got behind it with their finances, monthly contributions. So I gotta send a big shout out, thank you to all the Patreon, and because they been down with us for so long, the full album, people kept asking, when you gonna drop new music? When you gonna drop new music? I'm gonna talk more about that here in a second. When you gonna drop new music? And I said, soon. So the day we cracked 100,000, a whole album is on Patreon right now, okay? The full thing. It's 11 brand new songs. Some of you guys may have heard of it because I worked on it live and the Patreon community got to see it. So the whole album is on Patreon. If you're not a Patreon, this is your chance to become a Patreon because it's a fire community. We do Zoom calls and they get exclusive content. So that's on Patreon right now. Also, super excited. This is, cracking 100,000 subscribers and this coming in the mail on the same day is very fire. And that is, we got Love What You Do vinyl, okay? Vinyl. I've never done vinyl. You know how expensive it is to make vinyl? We got physical CDs, but like, man, who cares about physical? Yo, we got vinyl in the mail, fam. Like records. So here's what I'm thinking about before I get into just some of the particulars of how this all happened. I want to know if you guys think we should do a limited edition vinyl or if we should drop it and just have it available for mass consumption or both. Okay, so I've never done vinyl in my life. Y'all were expecting a plaque opening. As an artist, you don't know how cool it is to have your freaking music on vinyl. So that came in the mail today as well. The cover, shout out to Zach Sparazzo for taking this photo, and then the back, which is me and my son Levi, and the track list. Again, this is on Patreon. Where Did It Go, which is the first song with my man Foggy Raw, First Love It, which you guys heard, Plans Up, which came out yesterday. One Take Part 2 with my brother I Am Rescued, and MoFlo, Sleepies with Nick D, and some backup vocals from a very special artist, Bless God, which many of you guys have heard, The Great Nap, some background vocals from my man Bartholomew Jones and his wonderful wife on there, Zoom with my man Conscience, Talents of Myth with Trey Little, Cloudy Cloud with Ray Rock, and Fireside Chat, which some of you guys have heard. And then there's bonus cuts on the deluxe version that Patreon has as well. So it comes out Friday on Spotify, Apple Music, but the Patreon folks got it first. So I want to know if you guys think I was gonna do like 5 limited edition signed and numbered pieces or 10 limited edition signed and numbered pieces, and that's it for the vinyl. But maybe we should have it mass available. To do 5 limited edition, we would charge more, but it would be for the folks that really wanted, or have it be mass available at about a $50, $60 price point. Let me know what you guys think about that, those of you guys that are here. I wanted just to stop and talk to you guys briefly because why to me I started the YouTube channel is because I really just wanted to add value and communicate in a different format. I've always made music, but music I just felt like was very oversaturated. A lot of artists, a lot of rappers. And I just honestly don't feel like the music in and of itself, detached from any type of teaching, detached from any type of devotional content. The music is just the music. There's a gajillion Christian rappers out there. Shout out to all of them. All of them are fantastic. But I wanted to do something different, communicate in a different way. My last job before I went full-time with music in 2015 is I was on staff at my church using media, running the media side of things, but also doing the teaching about 6 times a year from the Sunday morning platform. So with that, I wanted to have a different way to express and help people. And as I started kind of tinkering, which was right about a year ago, I really kind of started tinkering, doing stuff, I'd say at least once or twice a day. I discovered like there's this entire Christian niche on YouTube, and it's got some amazing guys like Alan Parr, John McCrae in it. And then it also has some not so amazing people who I found to be rather combative and unhelpful, to say the least. So I said, hey, you know what? Let's jump in and start doing a little bit of content. And it was after I interviewed KB and Marcus Rogers, I think within the same week. I believe this is around November, okay, of 2020. I saw that there was a demand. And then right after that, I did a Bible study. And it's the first time I actually did like a full-on Bible study. So this is November 2020, and we were at maybe 15, 20,000 subscribers at the time. Primarily, I was focusing on just YouTube stuff, kind of Christian hip-hop interviews, interviewing my friends. And so I pivoted over and started doing more faith-centered content, which was ironically enough the stuff I didn't want to talk about. I didn't want to talk about it because I tend to be a very thoughtful person. I tend to listen to people. I have all kinds of different people in my life from all types of points of view, and I don't really have these like radicalized points of view that a lot of Christians, fundamentalists have, that I think our brain naturally likes to go to in terms of a binary yes or no theology thinking. And I never came on here proclaiming to have perfect theology. I just came on here desiring to add some dialogue, have some nuance to some of these conversations, which doesn't always work in my favor. Hence all the Ruslan exposed, Ruslan heretic videos, and all that good stuff. So with that, this was me attempting to do something and just really feel a need that I just didn't see in the YouTube space in terms of thoughtful, meaningful Christians on YouTube, with the exception of brothers like John McCrae, Mike Winger, Alan Parr, I'd say Bible Project, but not a whole lot of social commentary with the exception of John McCrae. What do you mean? And so those guys have all became my friends, which is really wild, you know, to sit here and watch people and then they become your friends. Super, super incredible. I don't know if what I did, it fits the typical YouTube model. I did it in a live format, the way I'm live with you now. Go live, chop up the videos. I did multiple videos a day. A lot of them are, you know, multiple buckets of types of videos, commentary on social issues, Bible studies, interviews, right? I didn't follow this like typical linear YouTube format, which oftentimes gets me in trouble, if I'm fully honest with you guys. But I saw the response, I saw just the DMs, I saw the type of folks that were following me, creative people, people that were running secular businesses, people that were in the marketplace actually doing stuff that I thought was meaningful. And so in that, I said, you know what, I'm gonna double down, I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing, and I'm really grateful for the types of friendships that I've been able to build with some of you guys that are very creative, very tapped in, and I think congruent with what I see of how a Christian should live in 2021 and beyond, which is honestly, I believe we should be the light of the world. I believe we should be known by the things we're for and not the things we're against. I think we should be useful. Hello. I think we should be helpful to people, even if we disagree with them. And that's offensive to a lot of people, but that's okay. That's okay. And so the algorithm, for whatever reason, favored it. And the people, you guys, decided that you found value in what I was doing. And it doesn't typically fit the typical Christian YouTube creator who is cautious in how they talk about current events, cautious in how they talk about stuff like the vaccine or the CRT or social issues or racism or fill in the blank. I'm not gonna come on here and lie. I'm not gonna come on here and be incongruent. If I'm wrestling with stuff, I'm gonna seek advice. And I'm also not afraid to say something and then change my mind, potentially. I say all that to say that none of my limited success, which in the grand scheme of things, by the way, 100,000 subscribers is amazing, but in the grand scheme of things, I'm still a relatively small page on YouTube. But this doesn't work on paper. Like if you think about it on paper, this doesn't work. I don't stick to one niche. I don't do one thing. There's not a ton of call out, exposed videos against other people. It's really because of you guys that we're here. So thank you guys Thank you to everybody here. And again, major shout out to the Patreon community, because that is really who gave us the freedom and the license to do creative things and have resources to do it. Stuff like go and hire Zach Sparazzo full-time, who's been helping a ton with our course launch, who's been helping a ton with the thumbnails. You guys have been noticing the thumbnails have been getting better. The majority of the Patreon money that comes in, by the way, goes out to pay people, believe it or not. So it's not even something that is generating a ton of revenue directly. It's more something that we're just reinvesting back in, because we see the potential of what could happen and the potential of other people following this format. Guys like Trutha, guys like Pastor Roy Dockery, guys like Trey Van Camp, and seeing their pages hopefully explode and be massive and them impact people, right? And I'm super grateful, because I really do feel like it was you guys that did this, and I just showed up every day and said, man, what's going on? Let me say something thoughtful about this, even if I may disagree with me in hindsight, and let me keep going. And all this, by the way, I paused making music. I've said this before. I had a whole album done with Nick D, who, shout out to Nick D. Somebody just said they discovered me through Nick D. I had a whole record done with Nick D. I still have it done, that we paused. And I said, I gotta go all in on YouTube. My wife was pregnant with Zoe, and I saw this opening. I really feel like God just kind of told me to hit pause on music, which was very weird. It's like Nick is blowing up. We got all this fire music, and I think some of that's gonna come out soon. I chose to be faithful to what was in front of me and not necessarily what I wanted to force. And Nick's doing incredible, and he's on the new album, by the way. You guys should go sign up on a Patreon if you guys want to listen to the record. Sometimes we have to pause doing what we want to do, which my first passion has always been music, in order to do what God is calling us to be faithful to today. And I said this a lot, and it's to me, it's less about what you have, the talent you have, how good looking you are, how much money you have, what kind of family you come from, where you live, and more about what are you faithful with? Are you faithful with what's been given to you? And I said this to my therapist the other day, and this is not a flex, so forgive me if this comes off like a flex, but I believe when I read Matthew chapter 25, which we've talked about all the time on this channel, I really believe when I read Matthew 25, man, that God's given me the 5 talents, and I gotta be faithful and double up and do more and help more people, not for the sake of building a massive empire for me, because I don't need that, right? Like what I need is very minimal in terms of my needs, but to really help other people, put on other creators, put on other artists, put on other people that are going to make the world better. Like, I want to make the world better. I know everyone's freaking out about the last days and the oligarchy and the globalist agenda. I want to leave this world better than I found it. I want to leave the world better for the legacy and the generations that are coming after me. Daughter now, hello, my son, their grandkids. Proverbs says a righteous man will leave an inheritance for his grandchildren. I want to leave things better than I found them, and I want you to have that same mentality. Hey, just because we're followers of Jesus doesn't mean we need to walk on eggshells, be afraid, think the world's out to get us, think that everybody hates us. That if we're really here, we make ourselves useful on this side of eternity, and we really live out Matthew chapter 25. We really care for the least of these. We build our lives in a way that's built on Jesus and the ways of God. Because of the revelation and understanding of how much was sacrificed on the cross, I really do believe that even though people will be hostile towards us in our faith, I really do believe that we will win people over and persuade people over. Maybe not but by our works, but by the work that Jesus has done in our hearts. And I truly believe that. Like, I really believe that, and that's been kind of what's been driving me. And so, again, thank you guys, man. This is really, really cool. The vinyl coming in the mail was really, really cool. The influx of subscribers is really, really cool. Hey, even the negative attacks on me, really, really, really cool as well, because AdSense doesn't come with any receipts. So keep watching, even if you're mad and you're in the chat right now and you know you're blocked. Keep watching. I'm not mad. Keep watching and reacting to my content. And if I can help you a little bit with some AdSense to the haters, we'll do that as well. I'm not mad at any of you guys. So great question. Billy asked about the giveaway. Here's the deal. My niece is going to pull up and pick somebody random from the Instagram, and we're gonna give that away probably next week. So we'll try to contact you through Instagram, get your address, get that shipped out. The person is gonna win a 7D Mark II, which is the camera I built the entire channel on. If you go and watch like my Exposed series, all that is on a 7D Mark II. They're gonna win a brand new Mac Mini. This is a funny story. I was gonna give you guys the actual Mac Mini I was streaming on. Before I upgraded to my iMac, so like up until a few months ago, but I gave that Mac Mini to an local artist named Asher, it's personified, who's fired, super dope local kid. I think he's like 17, 18, and he started doing music. Oddly enough, this is so crazy, okay? And I'm just gonna flex on Asher a little bit. He's been doing music, super dope kid. Gave him the Mac Mini just because I wanted him to just create as much music as possible. And this week, this is wild. This week, Kanye West followed him back on Instagram. He just followed like a random 750 people, and he followed my homie Asher back, who actually got the Mac Mini that we built the channel on. And so I'm gonna be buying somebody a brand new entry-level Mac Mini. So Mac Mini camera, light, the little converter for everything. So whoever's been watching this and wins, they can jump in and start doing their own channel. And hopefully that camera, that 7D Mark II, it has sentimental value to me because this is the longest camera I've ever had. I remember scraping up money years ago to buy it for music videos, and then we pivoted and started using it as a live streaming camera. So it has sentimental value to me, and I hope whoever wins it, that they actually use it and it has sentimental value to them. So that's happening this week. I'm not gonna pick the winner because I don't wanna pick somebody I know, right, or accidentally know. So I'm gonna have my niece hop on. She's gonna pick the winner. So really random how the Mac Mini thing played out. I was gonna do it as a giveaway, but I gave it to somebody, and Kanye followed them back on Instagram, which is super crazy. When I be on here talking about thriving and flourishing, right, it's because I see Christians thriving and flourishing. It's because I see people all around me getting it on a serious level. Working with people, working with big brands, getting big bags, and doing it without compromising their faith. So it's not like I'm just on here like ranting and raving or whatever. It's like because there's a lot of opportunity out here, man. And I just don't want anyone to be a Christian victim, okay? I don't want anyone to be a Christian victim. I don't want anyone to think the world's out to get you and they're not gonna let you get ahead, because some of that hostility is true, but the vast majority of that is just nonsense and paranoia. The vast majority of that is just nonsense and paranoia. And so I don't want that to be the lens we look at the world through. And so I'm gonna keep highlighting people like my brother Tony Alvarez, who went from being homeless to building a 7-figure business. We just interviewed him. He's about to do 5 million in sales, selling freaking olives and olive oil. We're gonna keep highlighting people to keep bringing you guys hope and keep bringing you guys very practical, step-by-step things on how we can transform our lives based on God's ways of doing things. Not my ways, God's ways of doing things, because I think God's ways are way better than our ways. And so hopefully this is helpful to you guys, man. Want to hear from you guys, all right?
Kingstream Entertainment, Ruslan.
Yo, thank you so much for making it to the end of this video. If you found it valuable, considering giving it a like and subscribing. This month, I'm releasing the Love What You Do collection, and to celebrate, I'm doing a 3-day virtual event to help us go from learning to love what we do to ultimately doing what we love. By the way, it's free, so hit the link in the description to grab your seat today.